Welcome to the Site-65 podcast. This is the first podcast of 2024. Thank you all very much for a great 2023. When I started this podcast back in, I think it was September. I started it mainly just as kind of something extra to do, and it kind of grew. And I'm very happy with it, and I'm very happy of all the episodes we've done, and I just want to thank everyone for listening. Joining me is Keegan. Keegan, it's been a while.
Yeah, it really has.
Yeah, you
Honestly.
haven't hosted in a bit.
Yeah.
I know that's just because you've been off busy with other projects and stuff like that. So,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, not gonna hold that against you or anything.
Of
However,
course.
if you miss another episode, I'm going to class F you. Um,
Man.
no, I'm not. I don't have authority to do such things. But anyways, yeah, it's great to have you on again. And I always enjoy hosting with you. And
Yeah,
it's
it's
just
great to
us
be here.
today.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a two-man show. A lot of people are still recovering from the holidays. And I hope everyone listening had a wonderful Christmas. Or if you don't celebrate Christmas, I hope you had a good Monday because it was on a Monday. And good New Year as well. I actually had some fun interactions with some SCPs over Christmas. So first off, I got permission to bring 999 up to surface and build a snowman with him.
Aw.
Yeah, I know, it was adorable. He loved it. Uh, I taught 999 how to roll snow, and he just gently rolled snow into little balls. We built a couple mini snowman, and it was actually kind of adorable because a GOC wandered over, and he was like, "What the hell are you doing?" And I'm like, "Oh, we're and he's like, "I could see what you're doing. You want any help?" And I went, "Yeah." So I got to hang out with the GOC while the MTF guards that were with me sat there very uncomfortably. Um, yeah, it was a lot of fun. And we built a couple snowmen. 999 seemed to really enjoy. He doesn't seem to get cold at all. Like
Hmm.
after we were out there for maybe, I don't know, an hour, and of course I was bundled up because it's Canada and it's freaking cold up here.
Yeah.
Um 999, didn't seem to get like cold at all. I picked him up and carried him back in after we were done, and he was still warm and jiggly.
Hmm.
So, you know.
I've always wanted to do a dry ice testing for SCP-999. I never really got the permission though.
What do you mean dry ice test?
Like dipping him in dry ice and seeing what it does to his DNA, or just taking pieces of his DNA and putting it in dry ice.
Ah, okay. You want to see what happens if he gets really cold.
Yeah, it gets
Okay, that
very,
makes
very cold.
sense.
And I think we
So,
kind of know now because it was snowing, right? It was really
yeah.
cold out there. Yeah, so he keeps his
Okay. It was maybe like -5 degrees C.
yeah.
So it wasn't like, oh God, it's blisteringly cold out here, but it was still pretty chilly.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so then I did a couple of just random, I wouldn't really call them tests. Um, I brought a Christmas tree to a couple SCPs and asked them to decorate them. 049 decorated it very simply. Put a couple of Christmas ornaments on it, put some tinsel on it, said he was pleased with it. And site administration allowed me to leave them in their containment cell, let them be brightened up by the trees.
Hmm.
We had an instance of 035. We tried to let him decorate the tree. However, he just became violent.
Well,
Um,
yeah.
Not very fun. 7722 uh, refused to decorate the tree unless he had an effigy of Christ to put on the top. And we did not have one of those. We only had an angel. And he became very angry with us and shooed us away before,
Yeah.
returning to his post. So yeah, that was just a lot of fun. And don't I shouldn't really be telling anyone this, but I may or may not have instigated a snowball fight with site administration.
That would be funny
Uh
to see.
Yeah, we were leaving the site at the end of the day, and I don't know what possessed me to do this. I just picked up a chunk of snow and threw it. And I was just like, yeah, what's the worst they're gonna do? And yeah, the site inspector turned around, looked at me, looked at his jacket that was covered in snow, looked back at me and said, "Oh, it's on." And we had a 20-minute snowball fight.
You're very
So that
lucky
was
that
pretty cool.
you're very lucky you weren't shot either, because
Yeah.
I've seen someone do something similar, um, and it was not pretty. It was instantaneous. His head was blown off instantaneously.
Yeah, I don't know what possessed me to do that. I just thought, eh, why not?
Yeah,
Um,
holidays.
yeah, so that was my holiday. Other than that, Christmas with the family and stuff like that. Got to see them, the one time a year that you get to see them. Got some gifts and stuff like that. Had some
Yeah.
Christmas ham.
Oh, I love
Um,
him. Very
oh, it's
nice.
so good.
So good.
Um, I think that's the biggest issue with the holidays is that people try to force turkey upon holidays, and turkey just isn't good.
Yeah, and it's pretty mid.
Yeah, it's not like if it's the only thing there, I guess I'll have some turkey, but it's not like I'm not actively seeking it out.
Yeah.
Mm. But truth be told, I'm really just there for the mac and cheese.
Oh yeah. I always love my family. My aunt. She's really good at making this good ass mac and cheese every year.
Oh, that sounds tasty.
Yeah, it's very good.
My mom
Very
just
creamy
does
tasting.
the box Stouffer stuff, which I know is not like, some people will be like, "Oh, that's not really mac and cheese." It's still good. Put some hot sauce on that. Oh. Um, so Keegan, I've been rambling about what I've been up to the past couple months. What have you been up to?
Well, I've been working on multiple different projects. You already know the Proton PAC, but I've
Yep.
also been looking into a project that has been seeing sightings of a 1963 police box, blue police box, being sighted at multiple. Like it's weird. Multiple photos of like even the very first photo. We even have one of it on the cave walls. Um, Site inspection has just told me not to really worry about it after a while. I've been excluded from the project, so that's all I pretty much know is but if you do see a 1960s police box within the facility, just report it to site inspection. That's all
I
I've
have
been
not
told to
seen
do.
anything like that at the facility.
Yeah. It's it's beyond I don't know what that is. It doesn't really creep me out as much as Carl, but I've also been running a secret project against Carl.
I
We
was
haven't
actually
discovered
going to ask if you'd had any more interactions with him.
only a few, but like they've been getting more creepy as time goes on. The more disappearing behind doors, the more weird, odd phrasing, and you know, I'm gonna level with you, Tomato. I've lived a long life. I've seen these sites when they were empty and barren. I've seen the smartest men I've ever met falter to the impossible and burn into the cinders of their misguided devotion. I've seen D-Class be set free and return to a bondage even more confusing than the one they left behind. I've seen the most classified SCPs wipe out entire rooms of MTF within seconds. I've seen GOIs make their own Valhalla within these walls and then hunt down researchers for sport. I've seen researchers struggle with the principle of the very meaning of existence. I've tested on all nearly I can test on with my current clearance. Seen the impossible, the, the possible to impossible, but I have never, in my natural born days, met a man quite like Carl. What even is, if he even is a man?
Do you think we could get him on the podcast?
I don't know. I don't know if he'd even want to, or he'd say. I'm afraid he'd say something classified because everything he said is and you may have to cut this out because
Then
I've been
don't
told
say
by.
it.
Oh no, you're right. I can't. Yeah, I've actually been told strictly not to say it, but on some layer, it's something that I can't. I've asked site inspection what this means when he said it to me, and site inspection. The site inspector looked at me and he gave me this look of concern and he tapped my shoulder and he said, "Don't worry about it." And he walked away. And that's when I knew for a fact I can't say anything. I say anything to anyone, you'll never see me again. So I don't know what or who Carl is, but I he's it's not dangerous, but it's something beyond our comprehension.
Hmm.
And I've been seeing a blue 1963 police box appearing more. Like I was doing I was going outside, to see fresh air. They actually let us do that a little bit, but I have to have a guard out there because CI be running around like killing,
Yeah.
kidnapping. You know how it is. And I actually did see the 1963 police box right next to the facility, and I turned to my guard. And I'm like, It's that box," and he just turned to me. He said, "Don't question it, Keegan. Finish your smoke and go back inside." And I'm scared on what that means. I don't know what a 1963 police box is doing everywhere in photos, cave walls, and I can't keep questioning it further. Or you know, they said I can only talk about how it's a police box and it's appearing other places, but I don't know. I mean, that's pretty much all I know. They know
Huh.
something.
I I don't know. Maybe I could ask about that because
Yeah.
I've been here a bit longer,
Yeah, I better
so
say
maybe.
you have like a higher standing. You have like a much like higher like in the
Yeah,
social range.
that is true. I could ask about that. Well, you'll have to fill me in with more details after the show,
Yeah.
just so I could ask that. Um, in the meantime, what do you have any plans, like upcoming tests that you want to talk about?
Well, I thought about now the 999 dry ice esque, but you pretty
Yeah,
much already did that with the snow. But I'll try it with dry ice rather than snow.
yeah. Oh, that's something. I just remembered. I actually did do another 999 test. I took him into 8837's containment chamber.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, I did an interview on that lad. That was very interesting and also scary. 'Cause
Yeah. Thankfully, 8837 was kind of dormant over. He was sleeping behind his little botany area that he has in his containment.
oh, yeah.
And so we just made it very quick. We brought 999 in there and we had him kind of roam around for a little bit. What was cool was 999 would like launch himself off of, you know how there's craters all over his containment.
Yeah.
And 999 would run up the would I shouldn't say run, would slide up the wall and then kind of float for a bit and then come plopping down to earth. And
Mm.
he seemed to enjoy it. We did a test where we gave 999 some candy and some water to see how he would digest food on a lunar surface. And fun thing is, so 999, we poured some water on 999. He drank it, and then the water just kind of floated around inside 999. Didn't really seem to absorb anywhere.
Yeah.
And then we gave him some M&Ms to eat, and he ate a green M&M and turned green.
Ooh. I've never
Yeah,
actually seen that before.
it was adorable, but it was also kind of scary because we were like, "Oh god," but we could see the candy coating of the M&M mixing inside 999. And
Ooh.
eventually, he turned back to orange after we got him back to the quote unquote earth, and the stuff dissolved. And yeah, he was fine. But it was adorable to see. And I
Mm.
want to now I've been trying to get permission for this. I want to bring 049 in there.
Ooh.
And site administration is giving me grief about that because they say, well, how can you keep up the facade of 8837 being on the moon? And I say, well, we could just say it's a new type of spacesuit. And they say, no, that's not going to work because it's robes. And I
Mm.
get that, but at the same time, we have to, I want to at least try it. Maybe we
Yeah.
could find a way to have 8837 locked in his like botany area or something so he can't get out. And I don't know, it's just something that I've been toying with trying to figure out. But
Hmm.
yeah, I'd love to do more with 8837. I feel like he's a very underutilized SCP,
Yeah.
but I get it. You have to kind of work with the limitations that we have. We can't just go bursting in and saying, "Hey, we're gonna bring, 939 to you. We have to have some legit reason of how that would get on the lunar surface.
Oh yeah.
Oh man. Working at the Foundation is fun.
Yeah, it can be very fun at times. I'm very interested in that 999 test though. You were in like a low gravity esque space, and you fed him like an M&M, and it made him change color.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we watched it because 99 is a little bit translucent, so you could kind of see
Oh
through
yeah.
him a little bit.
Yeah.
We gave him a bottle of water, and he can't really drink because he doesn't have proper arms. So we just kind of poured the water onto him,
Yeah.
and it kind of absorbed into his skin, but didn't really absorb into his body. It
Mm.
just kind of floated, like it's like if you put oil on top of water, how it just kind of is displaced. And then we threw some M&Ms at him, and I guess one of the M&Ms got into a pocket of water and dissolved, and the green coating on the outside of the M&M turned 999 green.
Ooh, I'd like to try that with Lifesaver gummies or some other type of candy.
Yeah, something more potent than an
Yeah.
M&M.
Yeah, yeah. That'd be a pretty
Yeah,
cool test.
that would be fun. Actually, we've been recording for a bit. You want to wrap up this episode and go do that?
Of course, of course.
All right, cool, cool,
Little
cool.
breather for my other projects.
Yeah. All right. So this has been the Site-65 podcast. Keegan, anything you want to say to the nice people listening before we end off?
You guys have a great day. Be
Yeah.
safe.
All right. So yeah, this has been the Site-65 podcast. We're available on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Thank you very much for listening. Happy New Year, and we wish you all the best.
Okay,
Thank
Happy
you.
New Year. Yeah.